Why do I suddenly have a desperate need for Krispy Kreme donuts? Isn't that a coincidence? Even has the Power Rangers on the box. Power Rangers is the latest thing that was once a thing, that's kind of still a thing, that's a thing again! This big screen adaptation of the 90s Mighty Morphin Power Rangers saga features 5 young teenagers who are going through a lot of problems in their life who find these 5 magical rocks. And these rocks give them superpowers, and they eventually learn that they have to team up to become the Power Rangers to fight against the evil Rita Repulsa, who's gonna destroy, I guess, the little town that they're in. And then I guess eventually probably the world after that, I would assume. Otherwise, it's just a small town. So, I mean, the stakes are really, I guess they're not as high as some films. If you guys saw my hilariosity review of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie from '95, then you know I grew up with this show, but I'm not horrifically nostalgic about it. I have warm feelings of fuzziness. I have the entire show on DVD because sometimes it's just enjoyable to watch. It's incredibly cheesy, and it knows it, which is what I always liked about the Power Rangers show in the 90s. It knew what it was. It never tried to be too serious. It was just a lot of fun. This Power Rangers movie is definitely going in a more gritty aspect. I wouldn't really say it's dark, but it definitely goes for more of a realistic sense, especially with the kids and their lives and what they're dealing with. In fact, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is a campfire sequence where they all have a heart-to-heart with one another and they connect. And that's what I really enjoyed about this movie, was the connection that they all shared. The sense of teamwork, and surprisingly, all 5 of them have really good chemistry. And even more surprisingly, they're actually really good actors. They do a really good job in this film, especially the Blue Ranger. He was probably my favorite. He was in danger of becoming annoying in some of the early scenes, but that quickly faded into the background and became kind of endearing. I really like all of them, actually. They were well fleshed out. If you are a hardcore Rangers fan, I feel like this movie will probably give you what you need. If you go to this movie expecting a film, not so much. The Power Rangers movie has a lot of storytelling flaws and some really hilariously over-the-top things that don't really match. For one, I like Elizabeth Banks a lot, and what she's doing with Rita Repulsa is basically exactly what a talented actor would probably do if they wanted to recreate the source material. Because if you go back to the 90s and look at Rita Repulsa in that show, you'd get this.
Yes, I like it.
Good.
Then start making putty patrollers.
Yes, my queen.
I'll lead them down and make the earth yours, Empress.
And that's basically what she's doing in this movie. This very over-the-top, hilariously cheesy performance that I actually kind of enjoyed on that level. But unfortunately, the other actors in the movie are actually doing a pretty good job at being serious. And these two tones, they just don't mix. The problem, I think, is that whoever was making this movie and calling the shots and the major decisions, whether it was the studio or it really was a director and writer for once on one of these big budget movies, they didn't commit to one of them. If they wanted to go the cheesy route, they should have just gone to it 100%. If they wanted to go the gritty route, they should have just gone to it 100%. But they have a mix of both, and it causes a lot of conflicting emotions. The action sequences are fine. They were actually kind of disappointing to me. There's quite a bit of slow fast-mo, that 300 Michael Bay style of directing action, that just didn't really look as cool as I think they wanted it to. There really isn't that much of the Power Rangers in their suits kicking ass, and the stuff with the Zord towards the end, I really didn't buy. Actually, to tell the truth, leading up to the big climactic action scene, I thought the movie was okay. It's actually once they got their suits on that I thought the movie kind of tanked and went downhill, because the stuff they do is so over the top and it just doesn't mix. You have a serious setup of an origin story that follows a lot of the origin story cliches that we've come to expect. And then at the same time, you have Rita Repulsa creating a monster out of gold and going, ah, oh, ah, and like doing crazy, weird things like that. This isn't a spoiler because it's in basically every trailer and there's even posters of this, but when they get in their various ships and vehicles, they're piloting them perfectly as if they've done it for years. Now they show our characters training in fighting styles and learning how to fight against the fake putty men that they use as sparring partners. but they've never piloted these vehicles before. And for a second, there's a shot where something connects to one of their backs. I was like, oh, they're doing it through their mind. That's why they're able to do this perfectly, and the Pink Ranger can fly a jet. But later in the same scene, the Blue Ranger is like, I don't know how to do that, and he's pressing buttons trying to figure out how to do a certain maneuver. So no, they are controlling these things. I just don't really buy it. How are they flying jets? How are they controlling these high-tech vehicles without destroying an entire town and killing 1 billion people? But the setup for the characters and them as a team is actually pretty strong, surprisingly better than I thought it would be. Bryan Cranston as a floating head Zordon is really good. Interestingly, he voiced some of the characters in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which is why Billy Cranston's character was named Cranston. And here he is in the movie playing Zordon. That's kind of interesting. Bill Hader is Alpha 5. I always found Alpha 5 annoying as shit in the show, and I found him pretty much annoying in this movie too. So if you like Alpha 5 the way he is in the show, you'll probably like Alpha 5. I don't. I'm not really a fan of that character at all. To be honest, I actually kind of enjoyed the movie until they got their suits, which I feel like I'll probably be in the minority there since everybody wants to see them in their armor kicking ass. But to me, the film kind of departed from what it was. It was a semi-realistic movie until Rita Repulsa is creating things out of gold, and all of a sudden there's giant battles between a Megazord and this Goldar creature, and it's just like, this kind of lost me all of a sudden.
My powers, they're getting weak.
Now you guys are probably wondering, why in the hell are there Krispy Kreme donuts behind me? Well, that's because Krispy Kreme plays a major character in this film. I mean, I have never seen so much Krispy Kreme in my life. This is like the most product placement I've ever seen in a movie, maybe. This was some serious Krispy Kreme bank that this movie made. Oh my God. Like, I can't even actually explain it because it's kind of a spoiler. That's how integral Krispy Kreme is to this movie. I think hardcore fans of Power Rangers will probably get their money's worth here. It did remind me of a Transformers movie sometimes. There's even a Transformers joke. And whenever a movie opens with a joke about jacking off a cow, it has me worried. Gratefully, there's not that much of that shit. But for a while, I was like, oh no. This is going to be Transformers 5, isn't it? Just with Power Rangers. Gratefully, they do actually try. The characters in the movie are fairly fleshed out. More fleshed out than I thought they were going to be. To where I could actually get behind them a little bit. But once they get their suits, it just kind of got really silly. And Rita Repulsa is also extremely silly. And I think the Power Rangers are silly. But the setup was a lot more grounded. So it was kind of a departure from everything that happened before that. But still, if you're not really that worried about watching a film in theaters and you just want to see the Power Rangers kick some ass, I think you'll probably enjoy this movie. I'm going to give Power Rangers a C+. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to my review of Life, as well as my Rogue One analysis that I've been working on since December. I'm going to post that this weekend. You guys are the best. Thank you so much as always for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.